when you started talking about when he was doing his policing, it was probably the most important job that he had ever done. You know, and it was because of every action he took, it was more or less helping somebody.
We were always surrounded by law enforcement because my mom was actually a secretary for the sheriff's department as well. So between the two of them, we had a lot of interaction. When we lived in Manorville, we only lived 2 blocks from the sheriff's station at that point in time. I think we've always looked at law enforcement from a different view, probably just because of the fact that, you know, we see them more as humans, where a lot of people just see the uniform and what that.
We knew more of the other side of it.
Right. We knew them as people. When we were younger and growing up, we knew all of the deputies, their spouses, their kids. From when he got hurt, a lot of that started with like the pain. You could tell he was like stiff and just had trouble doing things, to the point where he couldn't squeeze. The right arm was complete. It basically, it was kind of like it was cosmetic. It was there, but he had no use of it. If he got it to get it on the table or anything, he had to swing it. He would lean on the walls all the way down just to give him that balance, to get from like his chair to the bathroom and things like that. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, I don't know, maybe we wouldn't have been as close as we were, because we spent so much time together. And there were stages where he was like so physically bad that he almost couldn't be alone, just for, you know, he just needed help with everything.
And you know, when you spend that much time with your dad, that's when the stories come out, you know, and that's when he tries to teach you what you need to know.
When I got married, so I got married in 96, and he was, you know, he would get around, but at that point in time, you know, he's in his 60s, and he said, "I'm walking you down the aisle." I'm like, "You do realize how long of a walk that is, right?" And he goes, "I'm doing it." And I'm like, "All the way?" And he says, "I'm doing it." And he did. And he was like super determined, and he was going to do that, and he did.
He was a great father, taught us the right way, and mainly used common sense and get you a long way in life. And he never, quit was not in his vocabulary, because it was either he was working 3 jobs, from delivering bread to part-time policing, and every job he did, he put 110% into it. You know, and that's something he taught all of us. If you're going to do it, or don't even attempt it, because that's the way it needs to be. And so he delivered bread, Wonder Bread, for 16 years, you know, and he had the same values doing that as he did when he was being a police officer. And he treated the people the same, you know, treated them with respect and whatever, and he had fun at it.
He was a really, really, like, good guy. He always looked out for the underdog. And I don't know if that just kind of came from growing up. Maybe he felt like an underdog sometimes, but for the most part, I think he'd give you the benefit of the doubt. He was fun. He had a really, really, really good personality. He loved people. Just being able to sit around and shoot the breeze with people and tell stories and sometimes make them bigger. And he was just, good character.
Grandpa, he was smart, caring, determined. We would spend our summers, volunteer summers over there.
all summer long and help him out, of course. He was always keeping us going, always helping him do things around the house. I guess the biggest thing I see is his determination with everything. I mean, even watching him walk up and down the stairs, he still did it. He pushed himself to do that. Watching him getting up out of his chair, you want to get something done, you get it done. Big part of my life growing up. And my daughter did a solo dance this year honoring him, and she doesn't know, she never got to know him. She wasn't born, she's only 13. So seeing her want to know about his story and being able to tell people the story, not the full story, but about it, it's pretty special.
When we got back in 2017 from Washington, like Dean said, it was a ride, and it was a lot to see, a lot to do.
The whole trip in itself is overwhelming. I think we would all agree on that. It's just, there's so much. But that sitting through that candlelight vigil and hearing his name read, you know, I was sad, but it was like the right thing.
We came back to Minnesota, and it was unbelievable how the representation was at the state level, and the camaraderie of all the police departments coming together, and the law enforcement family coming together and showing their support for the fallen officers. And for my dad to be one of them, I'm very proud.
The fact that we can have one in Rochester, it just needs to be. And the fact that we can all kind of come together and support each other.
Washington Memorial's amazing. I love that he's recognized out there, but I also feel that there's a part left there. And the state one is pretty amazing too in that ceremony. But if we could get this one built in southeast Minnesota, that would be amazing, and get that done, because I feel like then we have a piece of him here. Yeah. That, you know, what his name is on, there's a place that you could go and see it again.
It is a good, wonderful thing for people that have gone through something they should never have to go through. You know, and I mean, they're out there to protect and serve. And in my opinion, this is the way that the community should give back to them what they gave to their community.